Okay, let's dive right into this. I want you to take just a quick second and think about all the electronics surrounding you right now. I mean, you've got your smartphone, maybe a laptop in front of you, a smartwatch on your wrist, or even that car parked out in your driveway. Every single one of these devices, every electronic device you own, depends entirely on this hidden world of microscopic wizardry to even function. It's a world built entirely on semiconductor devices. And today, in this explainer, we are going to unpack exactly how that invisible magic actually works.
It's kind of profound when you stop to think about it, isn't it? How does the device you're using right now to watch this actually process information, think, and function? It doesn't have a brain. It doesn't have moving parts, at least not in the traditional sense, yet it can stream high-def media, solve incredibly complex equations, and connect you to someone on the exact opposite side of the planet instantly. Well, the answer lies in these tiny, precisely engineered components hidden deep, deep inside. And that is exactly what we're going to uncover today.
To get there, we'll be following a really clear roadmap. We've got Section 1, the magic of semiconductors, Section 2, diodes, one-way traffic, Section 3, transistors, the big switch, Section 4, MOSFETs and modern microchips, and finally, Section 5, powering the future. We're going to scale all the way from the atomic level right up to massive industrial systems.
All right, Section 1, the magic of semiconductors. So, what exactly is a semiconductor anyway? Well, as the name perfectly implies, it's a material, most commonly silicon, whose electrical conductivity sits right in that sweet spot, right in the middle ground between a full conductor, like the copper in your wires, and a pure insulator, like rubber.
Now, engineers can actually manipulate this middle ground through a really clever process called doping. And no, not that kind of doping. This means deliberately adding specific impurities into the silicon. Think of it like creating specialized Lego blocks. By doing this, we get two totally distinct pieces to play with. First, we have N-type blocks, which are packed with extra free electrons. And then we have P-type blocks, which feature extra positively charged empty spaces that engineers playfully call holes. These two distinct little blocks, they are the absolute foundation of literally all modern electronics.
Moving on to Section 2, diodes, one-way traffic. So what happens when you take one of those P-type Lego blocks and snap it directly together with an N-type block? Well, a magical little junction forms. Joining them together creates the very first, most fundamental device in existence, the diode.
You can think of a diode as acting exactly like a one-way valve in a water pipe. Electrical current flows easily in one direction, but it is completely 100% blocked in reverse. Now, this one-way behavior is absolutely crucial for something called rectification. That's just a fancy term for the process of converting the chaotic AC power coming out of your wall outlet into the smooth, steady DC power your phone actually needs to charge. Without diodes, plugging your devices into the wall just wouldn't work at all.
And you know, a brilliant example of this that you see quite literally every single day is the LED, which stands for light-emitting diode. These are specialized diodes that actually emit light when current flows through them. By generating light through atomic movement instead of just burning up a fragile wire filament, LEDs use up to 90% less energy and last decades longer than old-school incandescent bulbs. I mean, they completely revolutionized global lighting.
Here we go, Section 3, transistors, the big switch. So if the diode is a two-layer device, the transistor simply adds a third Lego block into the mix. But listen, I cannot overstate this enough. The transistor is arguably the single most important invention in all of modern electrical engineering. It is the beating heart of the digital age. Let's rewind for a second. The year 1947 forever changed the trajectory of human technology. Because before 1947, computers had to rely on these massive, fragile glass vacuum tubes. They ran incredibly hot, they broke all the time, and get this, they attracted literal physical bugs. That's actually where the term computer bug comes from. The solid-state transistor replaced all of that mess, allowing our technology to become smaller, significantly faster, and infinitely more reliable.
But what does this little three-layer device actually do? Well, it performs two critical functions for us. First, it acts as a switch. By applying just a tiny little input signal, a transistor can turn a circuit fully on or fully off. This exact switching behavior is the fundamental building block of all digital logic. It's inside every computer processor ever built. It's literally the ones and zeros of the digital world. Second, it acts as an amplifier. It can take a tiny weak input signal and pump out a much larger output signal that has the exact same shape. And that amplification capability, it's absolutely essential for everything from radio receivers to audio equipment and our entire global communication system.
Now, let's look at how they evolved. That 1947 original,
That was a bipolar junction transistor, or BJT, and it was controlled by a small current. But the true game changer for modern computing was the MOSFET. Rather than relying on current, a MOSFET is controlled by voltage. You might be wondering, why is that such a superpower? Well, because voltage control means the MOSFET wastes virtually zero energy during its digital switching. And when you are trying to back millions of these things right next to each other, energy efficiency isn't just nice to have, it is everything.
Which brings us to Section 4, MOSFETs and modern microchips. Thanks to that totally unprecedented energy efficiency we just talked about, the MOSFET is now the undisputed foundational building block of the entire digital era.
Seriously, I want you to just take a moment to process this number. Billions. We aren't talking about a few dozen on a circuit board, or even a few thousand. MOSFETs are so insanely tiny and so efficient today that literally billions of them are currently packed onto the single modern microchip inside the phone or the computer you are using right now. Billions of microscopic voltage-controlled switches turning on and off billions of times per second, seamlessly generating the digital reality you are interacting with. It is just a staggering engineering achievement.
Finally, Section 5, powering the future. Because these concepts aren't just for tiny little microchips. When we scale things up, we get power MOSFETs. These are explicitly designed to handle the massive electrical currents needed for things like electric vehicle chargers and industrial motor drives. And we also have the IGBT, which basically combines the rugged durability of the old BJT with the sleek efficiency of the MOSFET, making it the absolute heavyweight champion for massive industrial power. To push these heavy-duty industrial applications even further, engineers are actually starting to look way beyond traditional silicon. Now, while silicon absolutely remains the gold standard for your everyday microprocessors, these new wide bandgap materials are quickly taking over the power sector. We've got gallium nitride, which switches at lightning speeds, perfect for super high-efficiency electronics. And then there's silicon carbide, which can handle incredibly extreme temperatures, making it a rugged powerhouse for really demanding environments like EV chargers and massive solar inverters.
So, all of this evolution ultimately ties back to Moore's law. You've probably heard of this. It's the historical trend observed over decades where transistor density, meaning the number of transistors we can physically fit onto a single chip, doubles roughly every 2 years. This is the law that has driven the exponential computing growth we've seen in our lifetimes. Now, it is true that pure scaling, just making the transistors smaller and smaller, is starting to hit a wall and slow down simply due to the laws of physics. But don't worry, semiconductor innovation is still thriving. Engineers are constantly pushing the boundaries through these new materials we just discussed, along with crazy 3D chip structures and highly specialized processor designs.
Understanding these foundational elements, the diodes, the transistors, the MOSFETs, it gives engineers the power to design literally anything, from the absolute simplest phone charger to the most advanced AI microprocessors on Earth. But it does leave us with a pretty exciting question to ponder. As this microscopic transistor scaling starts to slow down, how do we power and control the giant electrical machines of tomorrow? Well, my friends, that's exactly where we are heading next. In our next explainer, we are going to scale way up from these tiny individual components to massive complete machines, exploring the fascinating world of transformers and heavy electrical machinery. You definitely won't want to miss it. See you then.